Hello, and welcome to another edition of Interviewing the Legends, brought to you by the Publicity Works Agency, devoted to promoting musicians and authors worldwide. Call us today at 941-877-1552 to start your free publicity evaluation. Remember, we shine only when we make you shine. Please welcome the host of Interviewing the Legends, music journalist, author, and entrepreneur, Ray Shasho.
Once again, everyone, I'm your host, Ray Shasho. Welcome to another edition of Interviewing the Legends on BBS Radio TV, brought to you by the Rockstar Chronicles, Series 1, my new book featuring over 45 intimate conversations with the greatest music legends the world will ever know. It's available now at bookbaby.com and amazon.com. Well, when sax player Emilio Castillo put together the band that would evolve into Tower of Power in 1968, he had no grand expectations. They were just hoping to get enough to play the Fillmore. Castillo said, "I started the band in Fremont at John F. Kennedy High with my brother Jack, who was the original drummer. The band moved up to Oakland and took off, packing clubs with their horn-driven sound. Oakland is our sound," Castillo said. "I always say you can take the boy out of Oakland, but you can't take Oakland out of the boy." Looking back on the band's history, Castillo said he's satisfied with what they've accomplished. So am I. We're not a band that reinvents itself every time we go into the studio. We sound like Tower of Power, and there's nothing we can do about it. At first, I thought it was a curse, but as we kept evolving, I realized it was a blessing. We kept chipping away at the sculpture we were creating. The aim is to arrive at a masterpiece. You have to tell us if we succeeded. The group's latest release is Tower of Power 50th Anniversary, 50 Years of Funk and Soul, live at the Fox Theater. It captures Tower of Power's storied career with no holds barred victory laps concerts in Oakland, California on June 1st and 2nd of 2018. Performing their full spectrum of life-affirming funk and soul hits. It's available as a 3 LP set, 2 CD, 1 DVD package, standalone DV, and digital audio configuration. These historic performances include special guest Lenny Pickett, who is the musical director of Saturday Night Live band, keyboardist Chester Thompson from Santana, guitarist Bruce Conti, and former vocalist Ray Green, who shows off his trombone prowess. Tower of Power's 50th anniversary is available now at Amazon.com. Please welcome to Interviewing the Legends, second tenor sax, composer, vocalist, and founder of the legendary soul, funk, R&B jazz group Tower of Power, Emilio Castillo, to Interviewing the Legends. Hello, Emilio.
Hey, Ray, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. How about yourself?
Very good.
You know, me and you have kind of a similar heritage. You're Mexican and Greek, correct?
Yes.
And I'm Cuban Syrian, so that's kind of close. Syria is close to Greece.
Parallel mode.
Yeah, really, man. Do you speak Spanish?
I don't speak Greek either.
That's because you were born here.
I mean, I know all the dirty words on both sides, but
Me too.
that's about it.
I went up to Ed Guzman once from Rare Earth. He was a Congo player from Rare Earth.
Yeah,
and he looked 100% Spanish. You know, I went up to him, started talking to him in Spanish. He said, "Hey, man, stop! I'm going to stop you right there. I don't speak Spanish, dude." And I said, "You got to be kidding me."
Well, that's because he's from Detroit, and that's where I'm from.
Exactly.
In the 50s in Detroit, man, it was about you're raising your kids to be Americans. You know. Yeah, so I regret it. I wish I spoke Spanish.
Did your parents speak Spanish and Greek in the house?
Not in the house.
No?
Like if my dad's brothers came over, or like that, they would speak Spanish. But no, they didn't speak it in the house at all.
Well, see, I grew up. Yeah, I grew up with my abuela, my tios in the house, and I should be speaking fluent, but I'm like you. I fought it when I was a kid, and I'm regretting it now.
Yeah.
I tell you, you guys have had such a great career, and who were some of your early influences? I know you mentioned Roger Collins, the singer Roger Collins, as one of them, who did "She's Looking Good" and "You Sexy Sugar Plum." I remember those tunes. Who were some of the other influences you had growing up?
In the Bay Area, like Roger Collins, there was Freddie Hughes.
Okay.
A song called "Send My Baby Back," and actually, the guy that wrote that song, Lonnie Hewitt, we became friendly with him when we first started writing songs, and he was a well-known songwriter, and he had a hit as well, like "Star Eyes" or something like that.
Right.
And then there was also who was I going to say? Well, Jesse, Mr. Soul James.
Mm-hmm.
These were, Oakland soul stars,
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, my main influences, obviously James Brown was very, very influential. We really did a lot of Stax Volt, a lot of Otis Redding and Sam Day. And we also did a lot of Howard Tate. I don't know if you're familiar with Howard Tate, but
sure.
It was produced by Jerry Ragavoy out of New York. And if you listen to his records, big horn section, but the baritone sax is really loud in the mix.
Right.
We patterned our horn sound after that.
I always wonder, how do you put together a band like yours? How do you decide which part is going where? It's such a big band, and I guess it could be so intricate with so many horns in there. How did you put that together?
That's something I started doing when I was very young, probably not quite 17 years old.
Right.
I saw this band called the Spiders. They were excellent, and they had 3 horns, and I hired a trumpet player the next day, and I just started, I had taken some theory lessons, music theory lessons.
Really?
Yeah, private. The bass player from Dave Brubeck.
Right.
He gave me not a lot, but several, and I kind of took that knowledge of harmony and time, and I used it in the band. Everything that I learned about music, I always did it hands-on with the band. I always tell people, I'm a very mediocre sax player. I don't play keys really great. I don't play guitar really great. I only use them to write on.
Right.
My main instrument is the band. I know how to harmonize vocals and harmonize horn parts and come up with unique rhythms and come up with guitar parts and bass parts that kind of go in there like a fabric, and that's kind of my forte.
That's not easy to do. That's there's not many band leaders, like that.
When you started, 16 years old and you're 50 and you're 70 years old now, it does get easier.
Yeah, some of the great band leaders. And I think it, Doc Severinsen, who had a great band, and of course, Buddy Rich. You must have known Buddy, huh, through the years?
I didn't know him. I had met Doc Severinsen, though.
Yeah.
And, I wasn't a big band fan, to tell you the truth. Man.
Really?
My thing has always been vocalists and songs.
Okay.
When I grew up as a kid, I lived in Detroit till I was 11.
Right.
My parents were playing Dinah Washington, Ella Fitzgerald, Nat King Cole, the Platters, Bill Doggett, Elvis Presley. And I dug songs and I dug singers. Even to this day, that's what I live for. Even yesterday, I'm driving around in my car. I got Dionne Warwick's greatest hit.
Sure.
Marveling at Burt Bacharach's writing style. And mind you, I've studied him for years.
Burt Bacharach.
And yet I can still listen to it and learn as I go.
Yeah. I've had Dionne Warwick on the show. I asked her, I says, how do you take care of your voice? I guess you don't smoke. He says, hell no, I've been smoking since I was a teenager and I haven't stopped. So that surprised me.
Unique animal, that one.
Yeah, exactly. Another band I think you mentioned is a band that you really admire, Sly and the Family Stone, which I did as well. You know, they were tremendous. I had Greg on the show, Greg Arico, and
Yeah.
I know Bill Lorden. You know, two guys that were in the band.
Yeah, I remember Bill.
Yeah.
Yes, we had the unique opportunity of watching Sly before he ever made a record, or before he released one anyway. Yeah, he played at a local club right near our house, and we were underage. We were 16, but we used to go there anyway on the weekends, and we'd go around the back, climb over this cyclone fence, and go through the pool area and go in the back of the club. And we watched Sly from 9 o'clock to 6 in the morning.
Wow.
And then they served free breakfast.
Really?
Yeah.
Very cool.
Frenchie's the name that had every famous act in the world there. And we wound up playing there years later, many times.
Was Sly a DJ as well?
He was a DJ first on KSOL, K-Soul Radio.
Okay.
Then he took a little sabbatical, came back and did another stint at KDIA, which was a bigger soul station. You know.
Yeah.
And he was also a record producer. He produced the Beau Brummels.
I did not know that.
Yeah, he produced Laugh, Laugh, and Just a Little, all those Beau Brummels hits.
Wow.
He produced those for Autumn Records.
Yeah, I love Sly and the band. You know that to me they're like the Beatles of funk. You know, they really are.
Summer of Soul.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I saw it. That's on. Yeah.
I was invited to the premiere here in Phoenix.
Is that right?
I didn't know that Sly was going to be in there. I was like, oh man, it just took me back to when I was a kid because
I know.
I watch him every weekend. You know.
You grew up in Detroit. I grew up in D.C., so we kind of had a similar, music taste. R&B was huge in D.C. as well, and soul music. Yeah.
I was only there till I was 11. I really didn't get into music until I got to the Bay Area. You know.
Right.
And but as a kid, I got there when I was 11, and no friends. I'm new, right? And so the radio became my friend. And right at the time I got there, which is like 62, 63, Motown music started taking off,
Right.
And so I'd be listening to the radio and, missing Detroit and my friends there. And that's why I say I love songs, all those Motown tunes. And plus all those songs by Lieber and Stoller and, Carole King and Jerry Goffin, all those Barry Mann and Cynthia Weil,
right.
all those New York songs from Broadway. What was that 1650 Broadway? That building?
Right.
All those writers were there. And I loved all those songs.
I always thought the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame should have been in Detroit. There's more music coming out of Detroit than Cleveland. I mean, you had the rock and roll garage bands. You had
the thing about Cleveland is they say that's where rock and roll started because of what's his name, the DJ.
Right.
I forget his name, but yeah, he was the one that played the first rock and roll record, supposedly.
Yeah, but all the great music came out of Detroit.
If you think about it, and not just Motown. I mean, great rock and roll.
Right.
So yeah, I agree with you. But
yeah, Grand Funk Railroad, MC5. Susie Quattro. Yeah, it's Ted Nugent. A lot of great bands. You got a lot of tours coming. You got a big tour coming up, and I wanted to mention Too Short with Top on August 29th at Stern Grove in the Bay. That's kind of a festival, isn't it?
Well, actually, it's Too Short in TOP.
Oh, TOP. Okay.
Yeah.
On paper, looks like Top.
Our new manager is friends with Too Short, and he.
Okay.
He called me up, and he says, "Hey, I want to run something by you." I go, yeah, okay. And he says, "What do you think about having Too Short open for you at Stern Grove, which is a
right?"
And I don't really know that much about Stern Grove. I mean, about Too Short. So I said, I don't know. Will he fill seats? He goes, "Oh yeah." He goes, "He's from Oakland. He's the biggest rapper."
There you go.
I go, yeah. Why would I have a problem with that? He goes, "Well, he's a little explicit." And I go, "And what do you think I am, a prude?" I go, "All I care about is the business, man.
Exactly.
It's going to be a great show. Bring him on." And so, yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's many days. Joan Jett's going to be there. Joan Jett and the Blackhearts. They're going to be there, I think, August 1st. Thundercat, another band that's going to be there. You guys are going to be there August 29th, I believe.
Yeah, we're the closing.
You're the closing, yeah.
Called the Big Picnic.
Yeah, big picnic. Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
I'll tell you how I got interested in Tower of Power. I saw you guys way back when with Santana opening up 1973 in Meriwether Post Pavilion. That's when I first saw you guys. But you know who got me intrigued in the band? Lenny and his dance moves.
Lenny Pickett.
Lenny Pickett.
Because we also had Lenny Williams. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll tell you a funny story about that. When
Okay.
Lenny, Lenny used to, before he came in the band, he would be out in the audience dancing to our music. We had a certain song, Down to the Nightclub, which had this little extra snap that kind of weirded the time out.
Right.
One guy out there dancing that could dance and do the snap and keep going and stay right in time, And so I thought of him, this guy, good rhythm, good dancer, played, bring him in the band. But the guy we had before him was really, he was well known for his stage presence, Skip Mesquite. And so we bring in Lenny, and Lenny's up there, and he's burning it down when he's soloing and all that. But he's kind of motionless. And I said, Lenny, Skip was a big star when it comes to, live gigs. I go, you need to dance. And I go, when you dance, it needs to be flamboyant so that the guy in the 50th row can see you. And he goes, oh, okay. It's like the next night he starts flailing away and the crowd goes nuts. Next thing I know, he shows up with a patchwork outfit out of outfits, and he starts wearing these wild outfits. I go, yeah, now you got it, man. Then he started making all these custom-made tuxedos. He became quite a star, man, I tell you.
I always wondered about that, if that was intentional or planned. And I guess now I know it's your fault.
Not just me, because he also was sort of mentored by Jerry Martini.
Oh, really?
Who's a sax player from Sly and the Family Stone.
Right.
Remember how they used to dress?
Yeah, exactly.
They were always dressed wild,
Yeah.
And I think Jerry put a little bug in his ear too.
Yeah. He was cool. I loved the way he danced. It was kind of like your trademark. The band's kind of trademark when you guys did that.
See our DVD for the 50-year anniversary.
Yeah.
He's up there dancing away.
Is he?
Great, yeah.
Especially with What Is Hip, that's he goes crazy on that song.
What Is Hip and Squid Cakes, yeah.
Let's talk about the new album. 50th anniversary, 50 years of funk and soul, live in Oakland. What can you tell me about it? It was done, recorded in 2018, before the pandemic, so you got it out in time. Got some good music on there.
We knew that we were going to be celebrating 50 years. We had just completed 2 other CDs. One was called Soul Side of Town.
Right.
We followed that up right before we did that concert, actually, with Step Up. And then we went and we played the 50-year anniversary at the Fox.
Right.
We augmented the band. So we brought in Lenny Pickett. We had the extra tenor sax. We brought in Ray Green, who's a fabulous trombone player. So we had 7 horns, We had Chester Thompson play on all night. So we had two excellent keyboard players. Our guy is Roger Smith, fabulous. And then we had Bruce Conti play a few songs. He played Squib Cakes and What Is Hip, and I think maybe So Very Hard to Go. Paco Prestia came and played. It was right at the time we just pulled Rocco off the road because he was having health issues. But he came in, played 4 songs, and then we had 2 extra background singers. Ray Green, who played trombone, by that point he was singing lead for Santana. But he took the place of the former lead singer, who was Tony Lindsay. We brought him to sing backgrounds. So we had 2 Santana lead singers in the band. And then we had my trumpet player, Sal Cracchiolo, his wife, Melanie Cracchiolo Jackson. Excellent session singer. Just excellent. I used her on all 3 records. And so we had, those 2 extra backgrounds. So the backgrounds were just fat, And then we had a 10-piece string section.
Yeah.
It's the first time for us, and we just love that.
Is the band officially 10 members right now? Yeah.
And it has been forever.
Yeah. How do you guys afford it? I mean, I always hear musicians say, we got to it's very expensive to go on the road with a big band. How do you guys do it? How do you manage?
Well, it's a logistical nightmare, and we have it done with science.
Right.
We've been doing it so long, we know how to go lean and mean. But we're not traveling like the high price spread. We're not Guns N' Roses where each guy's got his own bus.
Right.
We're all piled on the bus together. But you know what? We're close. We love each other.
Sure.
And, we've been doing this a long time, and we do manage to stay in very nice hotels and get good gigs, eat a lot of great food, and we got it down to a science.
Man, I love horns. That's real music. That's what we're lacking today. If you didn't have the legends like you guys, I don't know what we'd have. A lot of auto-tune, I guess.
I was going to tell you when I heard the name of your show, back in the early 80s, they were saying in print, Tower of Power's music will never, ever be popular again.
Right.
And they're a bunch of dinosaurs.
Yeah.
And so, I did a bunch of recording then and nobody would sign it. 10 years later, I released it. I called it Dinosaur Tracks. And then it was like, after they called us dinosaurs, it was about 5 years later, our horn section was touring with Huey Lewis, and Tower of Power was out there once in a while opening for them or doing midnight shows after them. They would sit in, and all of a sudden the retro thing happened, right? It was Robert Cray and Bonnie Raitt and, all those kind of acts, and they started saying retro, and they said, so did you ever think that, your music would be so popular again now that retro is in? And I would tell them then, I still tell them today, I never even think about it.
Right.
Think about what's popular, what you call it. I never think about it at all. But we went from being a dinosaur to a legend, and I don't even remember when it happened.
Yeah. You guys never sold out, which was very important. You stuck to your guns all these years.
Well, what happened is we tried to sell out.
Oh, yeah.
The record company urged us, we want you to try
of course.
to sell like some of these other bands.
Yeah.
Then we can get you airplay. And so we tried. If you listen to those CBS records, the last two of them, we're trying to sound like these other bands that are on the radio, but it always sounded like us, only a bastard version, And so finally, when all the record companies dried up and they thought of us as dinosaurs, I told the guys, I go, you know what? Let's just go back to the way we do it. And as soon as we did that, everything got better. When we play the music the way we want to do it, the fans love it. And what we realized, we can't do nothing else, man. It's
sure. So very hard to go. That's one of my favorite songs of all time. It's a big hit on top 40 radio. It's a mainstay on top 40. Did you ever try to duplicate that, and have a commercial hit like that? Something similar that was very R&B, but very crossover?
I write songs. It's kind of like fishing.
You
cast out and you get in the middle and then you reel it in. It might be a chorus. It might be a rhythm. It might be a chord progression. It could be a lyric, but you just reel it in. And so I don't sit down and go, I'm going to write a hit. Up to silver. I don't do that. I just write them, and some of them fly, some of them we don't even try, but I still got them.
What an incredible tune, though. I could listen to that forever. I love that song. When I first heard it, I said, that's Tower of Power? Really? Because
when I wrote the song, I remember I called my manager in LA, Ron Barnett. I go, hey, Ron, we wrote a hit. And he starts laughing. I go, no, I'm serious. And he goes, yeah, sure. I go, no, listen. And I played it for him over the phone. And he goes, damn, I think you did.
Yeah. That's pretty obvious. Lenny Williams. He made it big, didn't he? as a solo artist.
He does quite well, yeah. He just the other day he's going to come and see us at the Hollywood Bowl.
Right.
Yeah.
Would you think he's probably the most popular singer in the group over the years, or what do you think?
Well, he's sang the biggest hits, so
right.
Yeah. Although Rick Stevens sang "You're Still a Young Man," which is a timeless hit for us, but yeah, Lenny, I would say he's the most famous. of all our singers, and he made the biggest mark. He, when I let go of Rick Stevens, we had already cut all those songs on the Tower Power album, and I had already asked Lenny to come in 3 times, and finally I called him up and said, "Look, man, I'm getting another singer. So if you don't come in, I'm just going to get somebody else."
Right.
And he rolled over in bed and said to his wife, Pearl, "I think he's serious this time. I'm going to do it." So I brought him in, but he didn't know none of the songs.
Yeah.
But we needed to get the record out. We had already been recording for a long time. It was all finished. We just needed the vocals. And when I wrote "So Very Hard to Go," I had his voice in mind because I had been writing with him.
Exactly.
So I said, let's just record "So Very Hard to Go." We'll put it out as a single, and that'll buy us some time. We can finish learning all the other songs.
Exactly. Yeah. And Lenny did "Cause I Love You." He did "Choosing You." He did so many. He's got a following. He still has a following, I guess.
He does quite well.
Yeah. How were you guys in the disco area? Were you guys popular?
No.
I would have thought you would be popular.
Well, we never really. You know what that beat is?
I know. Yeah.
We used to call that pea soup. Pea soup, pea soup.
Yeah.
We never pea souped.
You never pea soup.
You're right. But that was the time I was telling you about, where the record company's trying to go,
right.
We do a Motown hit like so and so did, and so we did "Nowhere to Run," bastardized version,
Yeah. A lot of bands, not too many bands could cope with the disco era, and they lost their steam, and they were non-existent. But guys like Dr. Hook, Dennis LeCourrier, they fit in right, And I talked to Dennis. He said they were broke. They needed money, so they had no choice, And even Kiss they did one disco song back in that time, But you guys were more capable than those guys, You had all the firepower.
More capable, but less willing.
You could have done it very easily. I know what you mean. You didn't want to.
We did another song, "Rock Baby," that was, supposedly going to be our big disco hit.
Yeah,
It was good, but it just sounded too much like Tower of Power, man. It wanted to sound like Giorgio Moroder,
Yeah, right. You didn't want to sound like Chic.
And I have a lot of admiration for Nile Rodgers, but
yeah,
no, I didn't.
No, you guys did a lot of cool cover tunes too. And Me and Mrs. Jones, that was, you guys did a great version of that.
Yeah, that came out very good.
Yeah.
Very proud of that record.
And what's so awesome about you guys, you got a band that's been established for years, and other people want your band. And you've done that many, many times. You played on other people's records and,
Well, mostly the horns,
right.
Although we did the whole band with Jacob Collier a couple of years ago, and that came out. But, the horns, we played with everybody from, Bonnie Raitt, Santana, Neil Diamond to P. Diddy,
Yeah, that's incredible.
We did Pure Prairie League. We did Poison and
Poison.
Yeah,
I got to hear that one.
We did PIL.
Yeah. I just had a couple of days ago, Binky Womack, who's a nephew of Bobby Womack. You remember Bobby Womack? I think didn't you guys do something with Bobby Womack well back?
No, but I've had a lot of people work for me that worked for him, so
right,
a lot of stories about Bobby.
Yeah,
he's one of my favorites.
Yeah, well, Binky's carrying on the tradition of the Womack family. He really is. His music is great, but he's not getting a lot of publicity, a lot of press, and I do my best to try to help him out. Which is a shame because he's a pure R&B guy. He's the real McCoy,
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's a PR management missing in his team. I don't know, because he should be all over the map.
You think so? You would think so.
He's the real dude.
I know. But there's a lot of family members from Legends that aren't making it. A lot of the Beatles kin are not doing it.
What do you mean, like Julian Lennon?
Well, Julian was big at one time, but now he's having a hard time.
Yeah,
You
he's
know?
not doing anything that I know of.
Yeah. I mean, Sean is not doing much.
No.
George Harrison's son is not doing much.
What about Ringo's son, though? He's a good drummer.
Yeah, he's a good drummer, but he's got his dad to help him out too. You know.
Yeah, he holds his own, though. He's very good.
Yeah.
Did you see the Paul McCartney thing on Hulu?
I didn't see it yet. The new one, the new interview.
Yeah,
what was that like?
It was really good, man.
Was it?
Oh yeah, but I was kind of marveling at Ringo, man. Ringo's deep, man. People they think he was some like little goofy drummer.
Right.
Very good drummer.
He was a great drummer. I agree with you.
And I think he still is, probably. You know, I know he always takes out a great band.
Yeah. So who are some of your favorite sax players?
I like Maceo Parker, Hank Crawford, Arnett Cobb, David Sanborn.
David Sanborn, yeah.
Michael Brecker. You know, we worked with David Sanborn. The horns played with him. He did a tribute. You remember that album by Ray Charles, Genius Meets Soul?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do remember
that. He did a tribute to that record.
Yeah.
Montreux. And he asked us if we would accompany him. And we went there and rehearsed for a couple of days and then played Montreux with him and his band. And here's the thing about David Sanborn, man. We're in this little like schoolhouse, a little small building, and it's hot and humid and uncomfortable. And we're going through these charts over and over and over, you know. But the thing is, every time he played, I mean, every single time, even if he was just putting a new reed on, he played like he was playing to 50 million people.
Really?
It was unbelievable. I was like, man, this guy is seriously committed to his craft. Just wonderful.
Unbelievable.
A great guy, you know.
Yeah. I love sax. Some of my favorite guys, I like Mel Collins, you know, he did with King Crimson, Alan Parsons. He's played with a lot of people. And of course, Dick Perry from Pink Floyd. The guy plays sax on all the Pink Floyd stuff. I like him a lot too. He's awesome. Here's an interesting question.
I thought Scott Page did Pink Floyd.
Oh yeah, that was later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Perry did a lot of the original stuff. You know, Dark Side of the Moon. Yeah,
Scott Page. Our horns did a lot of work with Scott Page.
Yeah, he's good. He's awesome.
Yeah, he's good. He's really good at putting gigs together.
Really?
Yeah, he did like this thing called Rock and Roll Kitchen, and he had Brian Wilson and Jim Keltner on drums, and all these incredible musicians. And he did gigs like that, different shows and different, charity events. And he'd call us up, he'd pay us really great, and we'd be there.
Really?
Yeah, with these famous musicians. He had a real knack for putting it together.
Huh. Is he a kind of a promoter too, I guess?
Well, I mean, he had that element in him for sure.
Yeah. That's one thing I've always wanted to do, is be a promoter. And I still may do it. Who knows? You never know.
Really?
Yeah.
There's nothing about that appeals to me. People come up to a million times over the years. I want to throw a gig.
Yeah, right.
Do yourself a favor.
Yeah.
Find someone else to throw the gig. You just
I know.
Go and enjoy yourself.
Yeah. If I could break even, I'll be happy.
That's what they always say too.
It's hard to make any money. I became friends with a guy that promotes shows, and he did one here. I'm in Sarasota, in the Sarasota, Tampa Bay area, and he brought in John Mayall, and I was helping him to kind of promote it, and I did the interviews, and I covered the show and everything, and I went up to him and I says, do you have the set list for John Mayall? So I need it for my article. So he grabbed me, opened the backstage door, the dressing room, and threw me in with John Mayall. I mean, physically threw me in there so I can ask him, for the set list.
Who's
He's a promoter. He's a promoter. Yeah, he does a lot of blues acts. He promotes a lot of blues acts.
Okay.
So I'm stuck. I'm there with John Mayall, just hanging out. It was his birthday too. It was his 80th birthday at the time. But I said, "Is that how promoters act?" I don't know if I could do that.
It depends on which day.
Exactly.
Bill Graham could be the nicest cat, and then he could be the fiercest animal you ever met.
He's all business, right? All business, basically.
Yeah, but I mean, he did things like, one night he came in, we were playing for his Christmas party. He always hired us for his private Christmas
Really?
party. And I was there, the guys had all left, and he came in, I was by myself, and he goes, "Hey, just the guy I want to see. Sit down." And I thought, man, somebody shot up in the bathroom or something. I'm in trouble. He goes, "Don't say anything. I'm going to tell you something. Don't say anything." And I go, "Okay." And he says, "I know you guys have been struggling." This is late 70s. Disco.
Right.
And he goes, "Let's just say I had a good roll of the dice. I'm going to give you this envelope. There's $10,000 in it.
Whoa.
This is for you. He goes, you can split it with your band. You can give half to the band. Do whatever you want. This is for you. Merry Christmas." And he gave us the 10 grand, and then he still paid us for the gig, I remember the guys all came back after dinner, and there was a pool table in the back of the old Waldorf. We were backstage, and I throw $10,000 on the pool table. I go, "Merry Christmas from Bill Graham, boys."
How awesome is that?
It'd be really, really sweet,
Yeah.
But then you're on the wrong side of it when he was in that mood. Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah, but rock and roll and music couldn't exist without guys like Bill Graham. That's what we need today. We need guys like him, the motivators, the pioneers.
Major league rock and roll, the way it is today, would not even be here.
Yeah, that's true. You're exactly right. 100%, man. There was a story with Jerry Weintraub. Jerry Weintraub.
Yeah.
He had a story about the Colonel, Elvis's manager, and he was very generous. Believe it or not, the Colonel was very, very generous and treated Jerry really, really well as money-wise. He wasn't expecting anything from the concessions, the super of Elvis, and he gave him half in cash. He said, "Really? You're gonna give that to me?" It's pretty cool. And it'll surprise you,
What I know about the Colonel, though, is he made his end.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But Elvis did, too,
Yeah.
At least he didn't get screwed like so many other guys did,
No, I don't think so.
There's so many bad stories out there.
You mentioned Elvis. We recorded our second album in Memphis.
Right.
Bump City. We went there to be with Steve Cropper. Steve Cropper.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
He produced the record.
Yeah.
So we'd be recording he was at a new studio. He had left Stax. He was having a legal battle with Stewart. And so we're at this place called Trans Maximus. And then we would say, where can we go get some barbecue? And he go, "Oh, yeah, go to the Rib Shack and you get steak and biscuits." And we used to go buy steak and biscuits, go drive up to Graceland, park right in front. Just before you remember the gates with the on it? Just before that, we park right on the road in front of the wrought iron, and we just eat our steak and biscuit and look in there and go, "Wonder what he's doing." I'll never forget it, man. Like we're here in front of his house.
Pretty cool, huh? Yeah.
Not just once. We go every night.
Every night.
Place. We get the steak and biscuits and we go to Graceland and eat.
Yeah. He might be inside playing Tower of Power records. You never know. My favorite drummer of all time, and I've had him on the show several times, hell of a guy, Billy Cobham. I like to see Billy play with you guys. Yeah.
We see him a lot in Europe.
Right.
These days.
Back
in the day, we would see him in Oakland. But, he showed up a few times at different little festivals that we play over in Europe. And, just a great guy, great player.
Great guy.
Yeah.
I think, to me, he's the greatest drummer in the world right now. That's my opinion. But, living, Yeah. He's incredible. Another guy I like would be, and I don't know if you've ever thought about playing some fusion. How about John McLaughlin?
I'm not into fusion at all.
No, huh?
Never have been.
How about funky fusion? That would be cool. Yeah. Funky fusion.
Getting closer.
We need to start some new music,
Genres, yeah.
Yeah, some funky music. Now, you mentioned Huey Lewis helped you guys out a lot. Why was that? Why did he help you out? What did he do?
Well, he was a big fan, and right when like the disco thing happened, and we tried to make our little bid and failed miserably, and then next thing you know, we're dried up. It's the beginning of the '80s, and it's like new wave,
right,
and punk, come in, and there's
Cars, Sex Pistols,
all these bands, and they're calling us. They're saying these guys are dinosaurs, and every other band like them out there that's been together over 5 years, they're all dinosaurs, and it's all about the motels and the cars,
right?
And Knack and Devo,
sure.
And out of all those bands, I hear about this band, Huey Lewis and the News. I was like, that's a cool name. And we were playing once again at Bill Graham's club, the old Waldorf.
Yeah,
we had just written all this new material, and we debuted it on the gig. And this guy comes back, good-looking guy, and he says, "Hey, man, that set was amazing. God, where did you get those songs?" And I go, "We wrote them." He says, "God, you guys never cease to amaze me." Boy, he goes, and I go, "Who are you?" And he goes, "My name's Huey." Huey. Yeah, back then anyway, you didn't know too many guys named Huey.
No, baby Huey.
I go, Huey Lewis. Oh, because he kept saying, "Me and my band, we super dig you guys, man." And I go, "Are you Huey Lewis? Is your band the News?" He goes, "Yeah." I go, "I heard about your band." I go, "That's a cool name." And he goes, "Man, we're total Tower Power freaks."
Yeah.
And then we were doing a session at CBS Records in San Francisco. And he comes over to the session. He says, "We're right across the hall. We have this song. We have two of them." He goes, "We think it would be really good with horns. Would you guys consider playing it?" I go, "Sure." So we go over there, and it's "Hope You Love Me Like You Say You Do," written by Mike Duke, which sounds like a Bobby Womack Duke.
Sure.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
And then the other one was "Working for a Living." I heard "Hope You Love Me Like You Say You Do," and I was like, man, these guys are like a soul band. They're killer, And that started it. We did that session, and then we used to sit in with them. If they came to LA, we sat in with them, or if we were somewhere on the road and they were there, we'd go sit in with them. And they loved it when we sat in. So when they really rang the bell with sports, he calls me up and he says, "Hey, man, would you consider going on the road with us?" And I go, "On the road?" He goes, "Yeah, we're doing a world tour, I go, "Man, I got the band, man. It's just about the horns. I got a band." And he goes, "I know." He goes, "But man, we pay you really well." He goes, "I'll do anything you want." I go, "I'll make you a deal, man. You publicize my band in every interview at every turn possible, and I will bring the band out to do midnight shows. You guys come and sit in," because by then he was coming to sit in a lot too.
Right.
He used to sing "You Still Am Man" and "Don't Change Horses. This Time It's Real."
Yep.
And he said, "Anything you want, man." And he was a man of his word, man. He mentioned us in every interview, and
that's awesome.
Each guy by himself on stage. Tower Power Horns. He featured Doc out front in the middle of the show. He really helped resurrect the band. It was great for us.
Yeah, I like Huey. Did you see him in the Blacklist? Did you ever watch the Blacklist?
Yeah.
Did you see Huey on the Blacklist?
Yeah.
He was good. He was pretty good. He's a good actor.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he's not bad.
That other one with Gwyneth Paltrow. What was that one called?
Oh, I forgot.
And he did they sang the duet, the Smokey Robinson Cruise.
Yeah. What about jazz? Are you a jazz fan?
I'm not. No.
You're not.
No.
Wow. Purely R&B, soul, and funk.
I wouldn't
basically.
say purely. I dig Allison Krauss and Union Stations.
Okay. Yeah.
In the world.
Right.
I love them. Yeah, but that's kind of late in my life. I got hip to them.
Right.
I saw them in the middle of the night one night. I was up in Park City, Utah, and I couldn't sleep. And I had, the PBS station on, and there was a special with Allison Krauss and Union Station. I was bowled over. I bought every CD they had.
You guys play with the Average White Band at one time, or a couple of gigs or something?
We play with them all the time.
Do you really?
We do like 10, 20 gigs a year at least.
Do you?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, we're sort of kind of cutting that out now because we got a new manager, and our whole push now is to play with some of these jam bands like Lettuce and
Right.
Incident. We got some of those gigs because we don't want to have this oldies look. We love those guys, and it makes for a great show because we sell out 2 nights wherever we go.
Yeah.
So we'll still do a few of those, but we've done a ton of them.
Yeah, they don't want to put you in yacht rock, category. There's too many bands already there, man. I agree with you. You should be playing with the up and coming, the newer bands, young guys. That makes sense, and they can learn a lot from you guys.
Yeah, we'll probably learn something from them too.
I agree. Emilio, here's a question I ask everybody, and I get some very interesting answers. If you had a Field of Dreams wish, like the movie, to perform, collaborate with anyone from the past or present, who would that be?
Sting.
Really? Sting, huh?
I would like to re-record our song,
right.
Only So Much Oil in the Ground, with a different feel, and have him sing it. And I met him before a couple of times.
Right.
He told me that before the Police, he had a Tower Power clone band. And he said,
How about that?
Do Only So Much Oil in the Ground and Don't Change Horses in the Middle of the Stream. He goes, those are great songs. And ever since then, I thought, man, I would love to do that, but it hasn't come to fruition yet.
Yeah. Oh, I can see that. He's been playing a lot with Shaggy.
Yeah, I saw
Shaggy. Yeah.
Down. It was very good.
Yeah, very good. I like Shaggy. I like that Jamaican thing.
I had no idea anything about Shaggy, and he was good.
Yeah. How about Santana? Are you going to be doing anything with him again? With I know Carlos is playing with Earth, Wind, and Fire here in Tampa. There's no reason why he should be playing with Tower of Power again, right?
Or
is he too old for you guys?
He might feel guilty for stealing my singer and my organ player.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
And my roadie.
That's true.
He borrows a lot from us. But I'll tell you something. He helped us big time when we first started out. He took us on tour when nobody knew who we were.
Right.
And we were bringing it. We were playing really hot. And we made him play every night, And I admired him for doing that, because some nights we took it to him, but he was in the game,
That was a great bill, Santana and Tower of Power. I mean, you guys just meshed so well together.
Yeah, it may happen again. Who knows?
Yeah, I like to see that happen. Emilio, anything else you need to talk about? You got the tour coming up, and I just want to mention February 15th. Now, this is 2022. You're going to be at Ponte Vedra Concert Hall in Florida. February 17th, you'll be at the Capitol Theater in Clearwater, which is, I don't know, for me, about 20 minutes away. I know all the guys are at the Capitol and Ruth Eckerd Hall, so I'll probably be at that gig for sure. And another Florida date, the Plaza Live in Orlando on February 20th. And again, we got to wait till 2022 for those gigs in Florida.
I'm just trying to get to August 8th, the first big Hollywood Bowl, with Dave Koss. I'm still in, I'll believe it when I see it mode.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Because now they just reinstituted the mask thing in L.A.
In L.A., really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because the Foo Fighters were supposed to do a concert, and one of the guys came down with COVID, and now the mask thing is mandatory.
Well, our governor doesn't like the mask here in Florida, so I don't think we have anything to worry about. We're going to continue to.
Not only the mask thing, but now they're talking about this Delta.
I know. I can't handle that again.
When I'm on the stage at Hollywood Bowl, and and we're clicking, then I go, okay, it's real.
Yeah, exactly.
Then I don't believe it till I see it mode.
Did you guys play any of those Playboy Jazz Fests? You did those.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. I think Hugh Hefner was there at a lot of those shows, right?
Yeah, I think we were after the Hugh Hefner thing.
You were after Hef?
Yeah,
okay.
Cosby was there.
Right.
MC. And then more recently, George Lopez was the MC.
Those were good concerts. Those are
Oh, yeah.
pretty
I
cool
remember
gigs.
one time flying in from Tokyo,
Wow.
a long flight. We flew in from Tokyo and went from LAX
Mm-hmm.
to the stage at Hollywood Bowl. We
Man.
were tweaked as could be. But we
Talk
had
about jet lag.
Yeah, oh man. Really something. Yeah. But we
Yeah,
did
but you conquered anyway. You guys are great. I want to mention purchase Tower of Power's 50th anniversary, 50 years of funk and soul live at the Fox Theater. It's available now. You can get it at Amazon.com. I guess you can go to your website as well.
Sure.
For more information about Emilio Castillo and Tower of Power, visit www.towerofpower.com. Official website. You guys are on Facebook, facebook.com, official Tower of Power band. You guys are on Twitter, official TOP band, and Instagram, www.instagram.com/Tower of Power. And definitely want to thank Fiona Bloom of the Bloom Effect for this wonderful, wonderful interview with Emilio Castillo. Fiona's great. I've been working with Fiona for a long time now. She's
I
wonderful.
call her Queen Fiona.
Queen Fiona. I think I'll start calling her that too.
Queen.
Emilio, thank you so much, man, for being on the show today. We'll check in with you from time to time. Good luck on the tour, man. It's going to start very, very soon.
I believe we want to see
it. Take care, man. Good luck and, happy touring.
All right, Ray. Thank you so much, man.
All right, man. Take care. We'll see you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.
Thank you, everybody, for listening to Interviewing the Legends, brought to you by the Publicity Works Agency. Call 941-877-1552 or visit us at publicityworksagency.com, specializing in author and music artist publicity plans. We shine when we make you shine. Tune in to Interviewing the Legends every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Pacific Time on BBS Radio, Station 1.